Hello, everyone. Welcome to Book Club Preview. I'm Michael, and today we're looking at Lab Girl, Chapter 6. And in this chapter, the author, Hope, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this last name right, Joren, just continues to explain her story. And she talks about how, as an undergrad student, when her professors started to see how serious she was about doing lab research, they encouraged her to continue to get her PhD. And this was kind of exciting because and I have no idea about this, but I guess maybe at that time, but if you were going for a PhD and you were doing your thesis research in something that could help the government, they would pay for your schooling and even give you money to live off of. So she decided to go for a PhD. She got funding from the government and had a full ride scholarship, I guess, and became an assistant, a kind of professor's assistant. And what she would do in this one summer that she's talking about is she went on this 6-week long field trip with these other students, and they just dug holes all day and looked at the holes and wrote notes about the holes. Wow. And she goes into all about how they wrote holes and stuff like that. But as she's watching the students and supervising them, she notices one student keeps kind of going off to the side and digging his own hole. And now she would walk around and kind of ask, "Hey guys, do you have any questions? Oh yeah, how do you say this?" Or, "Oh, what do we call that thing?" Or she'd walk around some more and see another group. "Hey guys, do you need any help? Yeah, how do we do this?" Or, "What's this?" And you just kind of walk around and help out. But whenever she went to Bill, she'd say, "Hey, do you need anything? Do you have any questions?" He'd say, "Nope." Just keep digging. Okay. And she'd kind of go off and help the other students. Well, eventually, she really starts to talk to Bill. And, she learns all sorts of stuff. Bill talks about how he lived in a hole for a while, so he's really good at digging holes and he likes holes. He has his own, like, special shovel that he kind of made or found. And I don't know about you, but I think I would guess like, man, this guy's a little weird. He has his own special shovel. But the author, Hope, she got excited, or maybe not excited, but she was like, hey, I like the way you think, your own shovel. That's cool. And slowly over time, they started to learn about each other, spend more time hanging out with each other, and they became quite the pair, to where they would always kind of go off on their own, dig their own holes, and they wouldn't talk a lot, but they would just kind of do their work together. And then after all the hole digging was done, they would get together with all the students and have like food and camping time, whatever, and they would just kind of sit there and talk, or sit next to each other and do things like Hope would read a book, and Bill would like dig holes with his knife or talk about knives or digging holes or some stuff. And the other students were like, ooh, they're going to be dating. They're in love. But that's not how the relationship was, I guess. Maybe it was, but it was a little bit more, they just enjoyed each other's company a lot. One time, they're sitting there together, and she's reading a book, and Bill asks her, "What book are you reading?" And she's a little bit embarrassed because she's reading about Jean Genet. I'm not too sure how to pronounce that. Sorry. And I guess he was a really famous author back in his days. And he has this whole crazy story of getting arrested, and he was even a prostitute for a while, and he would be a prostitute, and that a prostitute is someone that sells their body for sex and things like that. So he would do that, and then while his clients, I guess, were sleeping, he would steal their stuff and run away. And so he would do that to live, but then he would get arrested. While he was in prison or jail, he would write his books. And so that kind of, he'd write, get free, sell his body, steal things from people, go back to jail, and write. And so Hope is just sharing all this information with Bill and how really a genius Jean was. because his writing was so unique. And when he became famous, he didn't get like a really big fat head. She even explains how who is it? Picasso. Picasso paid money to get Jean out of jail at one time, which is pretty crazy. Now, I don't know if Bill was interested as much as Hope was, but Bill kind of listened and said, that's interesting. And he also makes a joke later about it. They end up at a lemon farm where they learn all about lemons and this factory producing lemons. And there's actually some kind of cool technology and things going on with those lemons. But they both just feel really bored and disgusted. And they kind of talk about why. And Hope, she shares, back when I was a kid, I lived near this huge slaughterhouse. She doesn't really get into that, sorry. That's some extra information I know from her other book. But she lived near this huge slaughterhouse, and she just always felt weird about factories. And Bill didn't have the same experience, but he didn't like him either. But then they start talking about their home life. And Hope says, well, I kind of left home at 17 and took off to college, or I probably would have had to work in the factory. And Bill says, and she's a little nervous to tell him this, but Bill takes it and he's like, yeah, I left home when I was 12. It's like, I didn't leave very far. I just went in the backyard and dug a hole and lived in a hole fort. So, wow, he really did live in a hole. But he ran electricity, and I even think maybe he said water, to his hole fort. So, man, this is crazy. Very impressive. And Hope, the author, is just kind of like, whoa, that's pretty intense. That's very cool. Well, as she's getting to know Bill and the field trip is starting to end, she goes over to her professor and is like, hey, you got to hire this Bill guy. He needs to be an assistant. And the professor's a little bit suspicious and says, well, why? Why should we hire this guy? And she's like, he's the smartest kid in the group. And the professor's like, well, how do you know? She says, I don't know, but I feel it. I feel it. This guy is the smartest person in the group. So the professor says, okay, I'll hire him, but you have to take care of him. You have to do the paperwork. I have too much going on, so it's all your responsibility, but go ahead and hire him. Yes. And so they all get back to their town after this 6-week-long field trip. And Hope is dropping off all of the students at their homes or dormitories or apartments, wherever. And Bill is the last person, and he wants to be dropped off at this bus station or something. As she drops him off, Hope says, hey Bill, I don't know if it's something you're interested in, but if you want, I could get you a job at the lab, and you can do lab work and things. And Bill has a kind of unique response where he's just like, okay, very serious. And she's like, okay. And he kind of gets out of the car, but he's sitting there waiting. And then he turns around and he's like, you want to go there now? She's like, what? Like right now? It's like, I have nowhere else to go. And I have my own shovel. And at this moment, Hope remembers this book, Great Expectations. It's one I haven't read, but it's certainly considered a classic by Charles Dickens. I was thinking Dickinson for a while, but no, Charles Dickens. And it's about these two characters, and I haven't read the book, but at the end of the book, I guess there's this real strong feeling of hope and of building this new house and redoing this garden and things. And this pairedness that the two characters felt. And that's how Hope felt about Bill. Oh, there's something here that's going to just keep us together as partners. Now, we don't know if that's going to be romantic or lab partners or whatever, but there's just some bond forming here. And she feels hopeful in this relationship. A stipend is a allowance of money that a company or school gives you in order to help cover your expenses. Interminable means without end. Taxonomy is like classifying or organizing, and that's as they were digging those holes and they were using this special vocabulary and style of writing to classify and to categorize things in the dirt. Agronomist is someone who like studies soil and maybe crops, things like that. 10 odd. When we add odd to a number, that means like around. So about 10 odd students. So maybe 11, maybe 9, but around 10, 20 odd, 15 odd, something like that. Goaded means to encourage with your words to, come on, do it, come on, go ahead. Or pushed your will on someone. Perennially means always, constantly. Bill always wore like this leather jacket and jeans, even when it was like 105 degrees outside. Cooperation is like working together, partnership, or supporting. Incarcerated means to be arrested or to be put in jail or to put in prison, where you are trapped in something that you can't get out of. Modulating. This has several different meanings. It could be like regulating or lessening, or even like for sound or electronics, going up and down. A voice, modulating, going back and forth. In this case, I believe it was something about the lemons. Where they were like controlling the good and bad lemons going in and out. There's just one left here, macabre. Macabre means like gruesome or grotesque or terrible, awful, something like that. And it comes from an old word from the 19th century, but I'm not exactly sure how that term came about. But for us, it just means gruesome. That leads us to our discussion question. Would you become friends with Bill if you were some of the other students, or maybe your Hope, Jahir, or not Jahir, Jaren? Okay, I need to look that up and figure out how to pronounce it. But if you were the author, or maybe yourself or one of the other students, and you saw Bill out there on his own, is Bill the kind of person that you think you would become friends with? And of course, please make your own discussion question. That is all the time that we have for today. But thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Book Club Preview. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Hey, if you have any questions about the video today, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If you had any other vocabulary words that you wanted to know what they meant, let me know. And also, if you're interested in maybe joining one of these book clubs, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.